Hello there YouTube, it's Roby3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we are looking at the 2023 Bandai Movie Monsters series, Godzilla -1. Technically the figure is just called Godzilla 2023, but, you know, everyone's gonna call him Godzilla -1 minus Goji, all that jazz. Anyway, let's, get moving. Sorry, had to move some stuff. Anyway, it's a neat figure. Fun fact, I actually saw it at a comic shop that's run by some big G fans. They always have a lot of Godzilla stuff in stock. And I got myself some like Godzilla pint glasses and whatnot, and they had this guy on the shelf, and I went to buy him, and they said, oh, sorry, someone accidentally put him out early. His street date is tomorrow, but I wouldn't be back for a week. So I had them save me one, and I did get to grab it. Hooray for me! And he's a cool figure. The sculpt is really good. It's a pretty great sculpt. You can even see little details between the scoots on his back, which is very nice. And I don't like to spend too much time on the sculpt because I feel like that's the most boring part whenever I'm watching a review. But it is sculpted very, very well. Lots of great details. But the big issue with the design of this figure is the paint. I know this is a cheaper figure that like kids can play with and stuff, but now that these are coming to the States, they're more expensive. They go for about $10 in Japan when these Movie Monster series drop, at least the regular ones. And they do cater to adult collectors as well with like special editions and exclusives and stuff. But this regular one, it's a kid's toy, and in the US, regular retail price is about like $30. At least it was when I got him. With them bringing more Movie Monster series stuff over, maybe that'll change. I've seen some for $20, which still seems like a lot for some of them when it's a domestic release. Now, $30 for a Japanese release that had to be brought over here, $30, that's fine. That makes more sense. $30 for a domestic release, that wouldn't. Luckily, I do think this was a Japanese figure brought over here, because this one, when I got it, wasn't part of the ones that Amazon had made the deal to bring over yet, that you can find at like Books A Million and stuff. But he's really only painted on the front, and not much. See, the back is completely without paint. It is just the color of the plastic. Not a speck of it on the tail, none on the back, and the only paint on the sides is paint that's carried over from the front. And even the paint on the front isn't great. They just gave him like a brown wash, made his claws the same brown, and then the paint on his head also still kind of feels incomplete. The paint in the mouth is good, but I don't know, man. Like, he's fine. The eyes are symmetrical enough. But this guy, he really could have used a lot more paint work. I mean, I have other Movie Monster series figures that have much better paint than this guy, and you'll see them in size comparisons. Articulation, though, is relatively normal for a Movie Monster series. You know, you've got a 360 on the arms and on his boyish little legs, but not the tail. I really thought the tail would move, because a lot of my Godzilla toys have moving tails, Japanese and American ones, but his does not. It seems, I don't know, it seems like they just kind of got lazy on this one. It really just seems like they got lazy on this Godzilla. Now, I'm going to show you his tag. Yeah, it's a cool tag. I like the tags for these Movie Monster series. They kind of almost feel like trading cards in their own cool way. You got the animator doll for -1 there. Legal info on the inside of a cool silhouette. And his spindlies on the back. $29.99. But it was also a small local comic shop. I want to say this. It was a small local independently owned comic book store near where I plan to move in a few months. And like, if I saw it for $30 at Books A Million, I'd be like, fuck you. $30, maybe I wouldn't, to be honest, because that's still a physical bookstore, which I would like to support. But, you know, small independent comic shop, I'm always willing to pay a little more there, to be honest. Now, let's show him with some other figures in our size comparisons. First up will be another Movie Monster Series figure. This one, another Godzilla, and another recent one that is maybe a bit better. And this will also be my next review, the Godzilla Store exclusive 1973 Godzilla. I think they look cool together. They're from, I mean, they're about as far apart as you can get. This is basically Showa superhero Godzilla, and you have Reiwa Destruction Godzilla. I like them, though. They're good. They scale together. And all Kaiju really needs to scale with is its own line. I don't know the exact heights of either of these Godzillas, but I know Showa N-1 are some of the smaller ones, so fine by me. Another Movie Monster series is Gigan Rex from the Gemstone short. Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex. Those look really good together, I think. That's actually an awesome scaling. And this Gigan Rex, oh, it's a relatively recent Movie Monster series figure that, has much better paint than -1, just like the last Godzilla. Huh. Interesting how that works out. Now how about some American Goji toys, huh? Here is the Bandai Creations resculpt of the 1954 Godzilla, which I think is a pretty relevant one to compare him to. That looks pretty good to me also. I really think they look dope together. And this is a figure that a lot of people have, plus I believe this mold was also re-released by Playmates. Now, some more Bandai Creations. We have Gigan Skreonk. Yes, so I think they look pretty good together as well. He's scaling well with these 6-inch vinyls. There goes Naughty Cat. Hey, Naughty Cat. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now moving on to Playmates, who doesn't, make them anymore. But I'll live. That really disappointed me at first, but now, we're getting Movie Monster Series more readily available, so it doesn't. But it is the 1956 Rodan from Playmates. That looks good to me. Rodan is a big old boy. They kiss. Yeah, so he's going to scale well with your 6-inch Godzilla vinyls. Now, maybe some less expected things. Here's another Movie Monster Series figure, but it's an Ultraman with the anime Ultraman, who I know is human-sized, but still, it's not like I'm going to not display him with my Kaiju, Looks alright. I don't like how he's taller, but meh. Then how about the quote-unquote all-new Ultra Hero series? It's not new now, but it used to be. Jean Bot, sorry. I had to actually ADR that most recent G&G. Well, the G&G where he interviews Mr. Gojira, I had to ADR the whole thing because I kept calling him John 9 the whole time for some reason. He's also a little tall. But what about the Ultra Monster series? The more Spark Doll scale, like this Zeragus, who is also going to be a future review. Pretty cool. I like that. That looks nice. And for the last little bit of this review, I'm going to show him with a dinosaur toy. I know that dinosaurs and Kaiju wouldn't properly scale together, but many Kaiju, including Godzilla, are based off dinosaurs, and I display all my Kaiju and dinos together, and assume a lot of people do as well. So here he is with the Claire and Dilophosaurus 2-pack Dilophosaurus from Jurassic World Dominion. And that looks cool to me. Yoink! So, what are my final thoughts on the 2003 Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla -1 figure? It could be better. Like, it's okay. It's fine. If you just want, like, a nice, hefty 6-inch -1 to plop on the shelf and, like, leave there, facing forward out, I mean, I guess he's okay. I don't want to pay a fortune for a Monster Art that I'm probably not going to like, or for a Super 7. Typically, I don't spend money on high-dollar action figures. That's rare for me. I want more of the characters represented, But I do think it's a good sculpt. I think it sizes well with my other Kaiju figures. I can live without the tail articulation. I mean, the arms and legs got it, so you can do the tail slide or whatever the fuck. But the paint is just straight up bad. It's bad paint. Is it worth 30 bucks? Like, if you're getting it imported, probably. But get it cheaper if you can. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. So remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.